Today we are going to find the perimeter of polygons. And so the perimeter of a polygon is just the sum of the lengths of all sides. And so all we're going to do is find out the distance around the figure. And to do that, we're just going to add all these sides up. That's what sum means, is to add up all the sides. So you're just going to go 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5. You're just adding up all of the sides. So I'll just add it in groups here. So these make 4, these two make 7, and I add those two numbers together, I get 11 inches. And so perimeter is just a distance around the figure, and so it's going to be in the units that you have. And so the next one, again, we've got all the different sides here, all the lengths, so you just add them all up. 4 plus 6 plus 7. And when you do that, here we get 10 plus 7 makes 17, so 17 inches. Actually, in this case, it's centimeters. Let's fix that real quick. So 17 centimeters. Well, look at the next one again. All the sides go all the way around. That's what perimeter is. So 7 and 3. We've got the 8 and the 4. Oops, here's the 4. We got the 2 and the 5. And we're just adding up all of those lengths. So when we do that, we end up having groups of 10 here. I see this makes 10, and 8 and the 2 make 10. And I see the 4 and the 5 make 9. So I just added them using that commutative property. Allowed me to move terms around and add some terms that weren't right next to each other. That makes the adding a little bit easier. So we end up with 29 meters. That's what we have there for the perimeter. Over here, same sort of thing. You're just adding up all those sides. So 10, 14, 9, 8, and 12. So I wrote all the numbers down, all the different lengths of the sides. Now I'm going to add them up. So when I add them up, I'm going to try grouping them together again like I did before. This makes 20. And over here I've got 24. And then the 9. And so maybe group these two together. You get 44 plus the 9 gives us 53. So 53 feet for number 4. Well, we got another set of directions here. And on this one, we're asked to find the perimeter P of each parallelogram. So we have to know something about parallelograms, because what you see is you don't have all the lengths of the sides, but they tell you it's a parallelogram. So parallelogram means that we have the two sides that are opposite are parallel. But also, since they're parallel, like this side here is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side. What that means is when we have parallelograms, the sides opposite are the same length. So that tells me that this is 6 yards, and this one across from it is 3 yards. And it only works that way because it's a parallelogram. So we just add up all those sides. So 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6, and just add those up. Now, what you could end up doing is, since you see how 3 and 6 make 9, and then this other 3 and 6 make 9, since they make the same number, there's another way to come about that answer. 18 yards is the answer, but what you could do, since you know it's a parallelogram, you could take the two sides that are different here, in this case the 3 and the 6. So we take the 3 and the 6 and add them together, and then since we have two other sides that are the same, see they're both 3 and 6, we could double that sum. So again, you have to add first, and because it's in parentheses, that makes 9. 9 times 2 makes the same number, 18. So two different ways to come up with that answer. So again, knowing that this side is 12, and this side is 9 because it's a parallelogram, could just sum these two sides, so 9 plus 12. And then this one's going to be the same thing, so I could just double this number. So 9 and 12 give me 21. 21 times by 2, doubling 21 gives me 42 miles. That is our perimeter, the distance around the figure. Same thing here. And this side's going to be 20, this side's 17 because it's a parallelogram. And so you're just adding up those numbers. 17 plus 20. Now I could just double this number because the other one's going to be 17 plus 20. So you add those two numbers together, you get 37. Now we're going to double 37. Now think of it this way. Double 30, you get 60. Double 7, you get 14. So you have to add those two numbers together, and that gives us 74 feet. Well, let's take a look at the next set of directions. It says find each unknown measure. So there's a measure here that we're looking for. So what they've got to give us is the perimeter, and that's what they say here. So what is the length of side B, this side right here, if the perimeter equals 30? So they tell us what the perimeter is. So it looks like this. Remember, you're adding up all the sides. 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus B, that's our unknown there, equals 30. So what you want to do is add up all these sides here. Add up all these numbers. So this makes 14 plus 7 plus B now equals 30. So I just added the 6 and the 8 first. Doesn't matter which ones you add first. This makes 21 plus B equals 30. Now you've got the sum of the three sides. So we just want to find the missing side, but we know that the whole sum is 30. So what we can do is some opposite operations. You can just subtract the sum of the three sides that you do know from the total. And that gives us the unknown that we're looking for. And so we'll have B equals 9. So 9 inches was our answer there. Well, taking a look at our next one here. Same sort of thing. We're looking for S, but we know the perimeter equals 45. So you're just going to add up the sides. 20 plus 10 plus S equals 45. So if we can sum these together, we get 30. So 30 plus S equals 45. So all you're going to end up having to do is subtract the 30 from the total. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I subtract 30 from both sides, that's a 45 there, and we go ahead and do that subtraction, we're left with S equals 15. So 15 yards is the distance of that unknown length of S. Now look at the next one here. It's a word problem. It says a triangular rug has sides that measure, and then they give you the different measurements. What is the perimeter of the rug? So they're telling us what it looks like. So if you're unsure, draw a picture. There's our triangular rug. This side we'll call 13, this side we'll call 12, this side we'll call 16. Well, when we're trying to find perimeter, we're just adding up all these numbers. 13 plus 12 plus 16 equals the perimeter, P. So when I add these two numbers together, I get 25. 25 and 16, well, those two numbers add to make 41. So 41, and then the units are feet, equals our perimeter of P. Well, it looks like the next one's another word problem. The perimeter of the rectangular swimming pool is, oh, they're giving us the perimeter. Notice that perimeter is 140. The pool is 20 meters wide. So let's draw a picture. We know it's a rectangle, and we're going to say that this side is 20 meters. That's the width. Now they want to know how long is it. This is our length. We'll call this L. This is our unknown. But we know the perimeter equals 140. Well, remember what we did on these other problems? We just added all the sides up. Now, another way to do it, though, was to sum the two numbers that we had and multiply by 2. So let's go ahead and set up that equation that we had. So we took the sum of the two numbers, L plus 20, and then we times that by 2. And that equaled the perimeter. Well, let's undo this equation. So to undo it, the last step we did is multiply by 2. So if we undo it, that's going to be our first step. So I'm going to divide by 2. That's going to cancel out these 2's right here. Do the same thing on this side, divide by 2. And so let's rewrite what we've got left over. So now we have a length plus 20 equals, this makes 70. So you see, again, when we did these other problems, 5, 6, and 7, we added these two numbers together. But that was only half of the rectangle's perimeter. So we had to double that number to find the other part, to find the whole perimeter. Well, same thing here. This time we've got the perimeter. We want to find one of the lengths, so we're going to take half of that number. And so from this point, all we have to do is move that 20 back to the other side. Subtract the 20, the length that we know, from half of the perimeter, which is 70. So our length is going to end up equaling 50. So L equals 50, and these are in meters, 50 meters. So There is our answer. So again, all you're doing on that problem is just doing setting up an equation and undoing the equation by doing opposite operations. Well, that's what your homework looks like tonight. Good luck on it.